Among many other trains that operate around the world, one in particular holds the record for the fastest train ever. This train also operates in Europe, in the country of France. That's right, it's the TGV. Chapter 1. History. The idea of the TGV was first suggested in the 1960s after Japan had begun construction of the Shinkansen in 1959. At the time, the government of France favored new technology, exploring the production of hovercraft in the Aerotrain air cushion vehicle. At the same time, the SNCF began researching high-speed trains on regular use tracks. In 1976, the administration agreed to fund the first line. By the mid-1990s, the trains were so popular that the SNCF president, Louis Gallois, announced that the TGV was the train that saved French railways. It was originally planned that the TGV would be moved by gas turbines, selected for their small size, good power-to-weight ratio, and the ability to deliver high power over an extended time. The first prototype, TGV 001, was the only gas turbine TGV at the time. TGV 001 was not a wasted prototype. Its gas turbine was only one of its many new technologies for high-speed rail travel. It also tested high-speed brakes, needed to disappear the large amount of kinetic energy of a train at high speed aerodynamics and signaling. It reached 198 miles per hour, which remains the world speed record for a non-electric train. Its interior and exterior were styled by French designer Jacques Couper, whose work formed the basis of early TGV designs, including the distinctive nose shape of the first power cars. The first electric prototype, nicknamed Zebulon, was completed in 1974, testing features such as new body mounting of motors, pantographs, suspension, and braking. In 1976, the French administration funded the TGV project, and construction of the LGV Sud to Est, the first high-speed line, began shortly afterwards. The line was given the designation LN1, also known as New Line 1, after two pre-production train sets had been tested and significantly modified. The first production version was delivered on April 25, 1980. The TGV opened to the public between Paris and Lyon on September 27, 1981. Different from its earlier fast services, SNCF planned TGV service for all types of passengers, with the same initial ticket price as trains on the parallel conventional line. The trains became widely popular, the public welcoming fast and practical travel. The Eurostar service began operation in 1994, connecting Europe to London via the Channel Tunnel, and the LGV Nord Europe with a version of the TGV designed for use in the tunnel in the United Kingdom. The first phase of the British High Speed 1 line was completed in 2003, the second phase in November 2007. The fastest trains take 2 hours and 15 minutes from London to Paris and 1 hour and 51 minutes from London to Brussels. The first twice-daily London to Amsterdam service ran April 3, 2018, and took 3 hours and 47 minutes. Now, the maglev remains one of the most interesting and fastest trains in the world. Chapter 2. Rolling Stock. The maglev train sets has a unique rolling stock with lots of equipment that they use. There are 5 types of equipment in use by Alstom, including the TGV Atlantique, TGV Rezu, TGV Duplex, TGV POS, and the TGV 2N2. Some of the retired sets are the TGV Sud Est and the TGV La Poste. Another set is expected to enter service in 2023 called the Avilia Horizon. This is almost identical to the Avelia Liberty that will be put into service in 2024 on the Northeast Corridor in the United States. The said EST fleet was built between 1978 and 1988 and operated the first TGV service from Paris to Lyon in 1981. There were 107 passenger sets, of which 9 are tricurrent and the rest are bicurrent. There were 7 bicurrent half sets without seats that carried mail for La Poste between Paris, Lyon, and Provence in a distinctive yellow livery until they were phased out in 2015. The sets were built to run at 168 miles per hour, but most were upgraded to 186 miles per hour during midlife refurbishment in preparation for the opening of the LGV Mediterranean. The few sets that still have a maximum speed of 168 miles per hour operate on routes that include a short distance on LGV, such as Switzerland via Dijon. SNCF did not consider it financially useful to upgrade their speed for a low reduction in journey time. In December 2019, the trains were phased out from service. In late 2019 and early 2020, TGV 01, which was the very first TGV train, did a farewell service that included all 3 liveries that were worn during their service. The 105-strong bicurrent Atlantique fleet was built between 1988 and 1992 for their opening of the LGV Atlantique, and entry into service began in 1989. They weigh 444 tons and are made up of 2 power cars and 10 carriages with a capacity of 485 seats. They were built with a maximum speed of 186 miles per hour. The efficiency of the Atlantique with all seats filled has been calculated at 767 mpg, though with a typical occupancy of 60%, it is about 460 mpg. Modified Unit 325 set the speed record in 1990 on the LGV before its opening. Modifications such as improved aerodynamics, larger wheels, and improved braking were made to enable speeds of over 311 miles per hour. The set was reduced to 2 power cars and 3 carriages to improve the power-to-weight ratio, weighing 250 tons. 3 carriages, including the bar carriage in the center, is the minimum possible configuration because of the articulation. The first Raze sets entered service in 1993. 50 bicurrent sets were ordered in 1990, increased by 40 tricurrent sets in 1992 and 1993. 10 tricurrent sets carry the Thalys livery and are known as the Thalys PBA sets. They are formed of 2 power cars and 8 carriages, giving a capacity of 377 seats. They have a top speed of 199 miles per hour. The duplex was built to increase TGV capacity without increasing train length or the number of trains. Each carriage has 2 levels, with access doors at the lower level taking advantage of low French platforms. A staircase gives access to the upper level, where the gangway between carriages is located. There are 512 seats per set. On busy routes such as Paris to Marseille, they are operated in pairs, providing 1,024 seats in 2 duplex sets, or 800 in a duplex set plus a Raze set. Each set has a wheelchair-accessible compartment. After a long development process starting in 1988, the original batch of 30 was built between 1995 and 1998. Further deliveries started in 2000 with the duplex fleet now totaling 160 units, making it the backbone of the SNCF TGV fleet. Duplex TGVs are now operating on all of the French high-speed lines. The TGV POS are used on the LGV EST. They consist of 2 duplex power cars with 8 TGV Raze-type carriages with a power output of 9,600 kilowatts and a top speed of 199 miles per hour. The bicurrent TGV 2 and 2 can be considered as the 3rd generation of duplex. The series was ordered from December 2011 for links to Germany and Switzerland and to cope with the increased traffic due to the opening of the LGV Rhine to Rhone. They are numbered from 800 and are limited to 199 miles per hour. Chapter 3: Future TGV Trains. The design process of the next generation of TGVs began in 2016 when SNCF and Alstom signed an agreement to help develop the train sets, with goals of reducing purchase and operating costs, as well as improved interior design. The design that emerged from the process was named TGV-M, and in July 2018, SNCF ordered 100 train sets, with deliveries expected to begin in 2024. They are expected to cost $25 million per 8-car set. Chapter 4: Conclusion. It looks like France is doing well on consistently working to improve their trains, especially the TGV, as it still remains the fastest train in the world. We can hope for the best, as these trains will become more modern than they look now when it comes to creating other high-speed trains like this. This was an episode of High Speed Rail Week presented by Retrax Productions. This episode is part of a bigger series of 4 other mini-docs. Click the video on the left to see yesterday's episode, and the video on the right to see tomorrow's episode. If you're watching this when it's new, there's probably no video there, because tomorrow's video isn't out yet, so make sure to stay tuned for tomorrow's episode. Additionally, if you want to see more content like this, please consider subscribing, as these videos take a lot of work to make. With that said, thanks for watching, and I will see you in another episode.